We are joined here today by Mark Jardine. Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Trish.
So, what is the People's Project about?
People's Project is an idea that came up with essentially to raise money to try and boost my hometown of Dumfries, the Queen of the South.
What inspired you to come up with the People's Project?
I think I was getting a little bit frustrated with the lack of buzz around Dumfries. I think I was echoing a lot of people in the town who were disappointed with lack of inward investment. When the Centros Miller project failed, I really thought we had to do something here, particularly with the credit crunch. And therefore I came up with this essentially very simple idea of injecting an initial amount of investment capital which comes from the people of Dumfries, whether it's £1 or £2 or £100. If everybody gives just a little bit, we might end up with quite a tidy sum of money which might attract other investments from European funding, for example, or the government.
So how can people donate if they wish to?
We're going to open a bank account at the Bank of Scotland in the High Street, and the mandates are being drawn up at the moment, and hopefully next week that account will be opened and people can pop in and, as we've said, donate £1 or £2, £5, whatever they can afford to the project.
What financial backing have you had so far from businesses?
I've been pledged now about £3,500. Those cheques I have on my person, at least in my office, ready to put into the bank account. But I've also had lots of other people saying they will back it once the bank account is open.
Has the project had any backing of the council yet?
Very much. I wrote to Phil Jones, Chief Executive, and had a letter back from Phil, and he is very much behind the project. He's passed the letter on to Peter Bulmer, and again Peter will be behind it. I've also spoken to John Menjum, the town centre manager. He's quite excited about the project, as is Jack Groom, who is our provost.
So what sort of funding might the council put towards the project?
I don't know what the council might do. I would be hoping, I think the council's hands are tied with regard to their own budgets, but they could help us out in many ways by lending their expertise, perhaps with regard to a clean-up of the town. They might be able to help put on an extra shift to ensure that the bins are cleared, things like that.
The People's Project has a number of ideas of what could be done to improve Dumfries. Could you talk us through some of those, please?
Certainly, Trish. According to the Standard campaign, one of the things that people want to see is a litter clean-up. We've got lots of ideas that perhaps are novel, which will be unveiled shortly. We'd hope that everybody could take ownership of their own litter rather than blaming the council, which everybody likes to do. So that's one of the ideas. Obviously within Dumfries there are lots of opportunities. The Lorburn Hall, for example, there are schemes that could go ahead there, some grandiose schemes and some fairly simple schemes. Another one is Greyfriars Church. That might be a little bit expensive, we don't know. We might be able to do something with regard to the flooding in the White Sands, because if we could stop the flooding 6 times a year, I'm sure inward investment would flow, if you'll pardon the pun, into that area. But essentially what the People's Project really needs to do is to find a fairly simple campaign, to get it sorted and let the people see that we can do something for them and everybody feels as if they've taken part, and then we can really tackle some of the bigger problems that Dumfries has.